Did you read it?
I read them both.
Okay, you didn't have a problem with it? Okay.
Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday, January 13th, 2016 Dudley Planning Board meeting. I'd like to call it to order. Present this evening, Thomas Holt, Vice Chairman, Marcia Wagner, Clerk of the Board, Sean Guerin, Member, myself, Guy Horn, Chairman, Chris Ryan is our Interim Town Planner, and this is our first meeting in 2016. On the agenda this evening, item A, we have two sets of minutes to approve. One of them is from May 13th, 2015, and the other one is from our last meeting in December 9th, 2015.
Mr. Chairman, I've read the minutes from 12/9/15 and 5/13/2015, and I make a motion that we approve them as written.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes from 12/9/15 and 5/13/2015. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous? Okay, our next item on our agenda, item B, was the excuse me, Marcia, Nichols College parking lot lighting. This was something we reviewed, I believe, last meeting, and it was deemed that it was going to be considered maintenance for Nichols College and that they wouldn't require a site plan review. But what we did ask of them is that they forward their lighting plan to our consulting town engineer, who has, as of today, sent us back a report. So this is the first we're getting to see this. Chris, maybe you could comment on this. Did you get the chance to review this and take a read of it?
The report from Graves seems to indicate that the engineer has no problems with the plan or its compliance with the bylaw or its location in the parking lot.
Okay, well, that's all good things for us then. Okay.
I do note that the closest point that any lighting hits close to a property line is in the northeast corner, where it appears to be about 7 or 8 feet from the property line. Everything else is all zeroed out. So the isn't any touching of any property lines.
Okay, that's good. All right. Would you be able to forward? I don't know. This was sent to us. Can we forward a copy of this off to Nichols College so that they know that it was approved? And we have no public hearings tonight. Item C would be planner's plate.
Yes. Okay, so I just want to let you know that you received some mail over the course of the week. One of them was an invoice that Mr. Chairman had made you aware of previously for engineering work done in the month of December, and also a running invoice for previous bills, one from Patriot Gas for the Patriot Gas project, another for the Shepherd Hill Regional High School, and again the Farley Road Solar, which totals $1967, and the high school is $96, and then the Patriot Gas is $1866 for a total balance of $39.29.
Right, and what we just discussed prior to the meeting was you're going to get with either Joan Gardecki or Debbie Thibodeau sometime this week, and they'll show you on the forms to fill out the vouchers so that we can get them signed at our next meeting. And if you could, I pulled that folder out for you on the Patriot Gas project. If you could just review that with probably the treasurer or his assistant and see if our accounting of it lines up with what the engineer's accounting does, so we can figure out where the shortfalls might lie in that project.
Absolutely, we'll do that. And also the other piece of mail was a National Grid brochure. If anybody would like to see any of this, please just let me know.
Okay. did you want to give an update on the solar bylaw amendment or discussion on CMRPC Village?
Yes.
Project?
I've seen the email correspondence back and forth between the town council and Eric Smith, the prior interim planner.
Mhm.
And I believe that as of the last reading, Eric had not received any comments on his last modification or amendments.
Yep.
So I think still waiting comments from the council on that. And I've taken a look at it. It looks like the changes that are proposed are going to meet your goals in terms of the bylaw. And so I think it's just a matter of hearing from council on that.
Okay.
And in terms of the village center, one of the things that I've done is I put in your packet under tab G a map that was created by our GIS coordinator, Matt Franz. It shows the district as Eric understood it, the study area that you guys would like to include as part of a potential village center zoning area. Certainly subject to revision or other changes that you might want to make. But certainly it might be good to have a work session to talk about your vision for the area, what you'd like to see accomplished in terms of a bylaw, what kind of models you might have in terms of other communities, village centers that you'd like to maybe emulate. And so, that we can get started. As you know, we've already budgeted DLTA money for 2016 to continue this project. And at this point, it's really up to you folks to let me know, as both my dual role as the interim town planner, but also the project manager of the Village Center project at CMRPC, how you want to proceed on it, whether you want to utilize the model that we've created, or whether you want to maybe merge it with something you have already in place. So we can talk about that. But I think really the bottom line is what your vision for the area is, what you'd like to see happen there from the standpoint of change over time, and if there's any communities that you look to as, hey, we would like to maybe look a little bit more like X or Y, something like that.
Okay. Thank you for that. And then we got, so you're all set with that, Chris?
Yes, thank you.
So then the next item would be comments from the planning board, comments from the audience. So this is where I would like to invite I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the plan. This is the Farley Road Solar Project plan. I believe you have a new landscaping plan for us to take a look at?
Is it Sean?
Chris.
Chris, yep.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing today? So we provided plans, a new landscaping plan in advance of the hearing. I believe those were provided yesterday. Do you folks have those in front of you?
Chris, did those get in the books?
Yes, it's under tab D.
It's under tab D.
Yes.
All right.
So just by way of introduction, Chris Clark, Vice President of Business Development at Nexamp on behalf of Farley Road Solar LLC, and I'm joined here by John Guast. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Who is a senior landscape architect at Meridian Associates, the civil engineering firm that we engaged for this particular project. So we're here tonight as follow-up to our public hearing that occurred on December 9th before this planning board. At that public hearing, you all voted 5-0 to approve for the major site plan review for Farley Road Solar LLC for a large-scale photovoltaic installation. At that time, the board also requested that we submit a new landscape plan for your review. And the thought was that we would provide a landscape plan that would provide enhanced screening for the project site from some of the abutters. So the plan was requested to do the following. to provide additional tree screening along the eastern portion of the project. This to run from the northern limits of the project to the southern limits along Center Road. And it was requested that the tree screening proposed on the northern boundary be replaced with a shrub-type vegetation that would not grow to a height, or at least be maintained in a height not in excess of the top of the fence.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, do you guys have the full-size plan copies that you said you were going to bring tonight?
We do have a full-size plan.
Yeah, we have a full-size plan. Also, we had some plans delivered today, this morning,
Delivered to whom?
to I believe the town clerk or to the town this morning.
Okay, I checked the mailroom this afternoon. I didn't see anything.
They could be in still somebody's office.
Still could be.
Yeah, we can check tomorrow and find out where they get delivered to.
But I do have a full-size plan.
Would the board find that helpful to have that full-size plan in front of them?
I'm fine working off of this unless
Okay.
somebody else wants to
All
say
right,
something.
thank you.
bigger.
You're welcome.
So, taking a look at this, Chris, it looks like, according to the schedule, would be 13 arborvitaes, which would be at the northernmost point along Farley Road. This is the shrub replacement that you're talking about there?
That's correct, and they would be maintained at a height not to exceed
7 feet, okay. And then the additional plantings is going to be a total of 47 eastern white pines from the corner of Farley Road south to the end of the project, running parallel with Center Road, basically.
Correct, and those would be 6 feet minimum height and basically integrated with the existing vegetative boundary along the eastern edge there.
There was some discussion about some screening on the northeast corner. Is that just in the fence
It
alone?
was, as far as I remember, it was the fence, yeah.
Fence, okay.
Because you've got a wetland right there, you can't really plant in there. This is all that. Wetlands. Sure.
I have a question. Who's responsible for maintaining and keeping those trees alive? We have a large solar array in Dudley on Blackmore Road, and all the screening is dead. You ride by and there's just twigs standing up. And in my particular yard, I have a white pine, and the deer eat it as high as they can reach. So there's no screening from the ground to about 7 feet high. So those are my concerns.
Sure. As owners of the project and maintainers of the project, over its 20-year lifetime, it would be on us to maintain that vegetation.
All right.
Does the board ever put in their decision letters maintenance provisions for vegetation?
I don't have the decision in front of me, but I thought,
Oh, it's in the minutes.
yeah. Give us 1 second.
It's in the 12-9 minutes.
I remember having a conversation with Eric and asking him to have the decision written so forth that it was included that the trees or the screening would be installed and maintained, which is what you're basically stating here.
Correct.
All it says is solid green screening on the fence from the northwest corner to the southern easterly corner of the project.
Right, but the actual decision that we had written up, I don't believe we've signed that decision yet for, do you know where that decision is? Is it printed?
I believe it's in the office at this time.
Do you think we could get a copy of that, just for our quick review?
Would you grab it right now?
Would you mind?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Yeah, let's just grab a copy of that and take a look. Let's see if the provision's already in there. If it's already in there, then we don't have to worry about it. So as far as the plantings go, they would just be limited to basically to the north and well, basically north and south side of your entrance and along the center road. Everything else, there would be no new plantings, but you would leave remaining vegetation around the project as screenings.
That's correct.
If it's not interfering, correct? Yeah.
So what we propose is consistent with the feedback we heard
Right.
from the abutters at the public hearing, as well as the draft conditions that were written up
Yep.
after that public hearing.
There's some concerns on the, from this property owner from the side.
Yeah, this is going to be screened with green.
It's going to be screened.
With green netting
Oh,
on
the
the
netting,
fence.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
It wouldn't just be blank fence.
And you think the 13 arborvitaes will be far enough along where it will screen from the abutter?
Yeah, I think so, given the height requirements and the way that they're staggered.
Mm-hmm.
My sense is that there will be sufficient screening.
Does this scale say that those will be put in at 7 feet? They'll be 7 feet tall when you plant them? Or is,
No, I believe the plant schedule says,
I didn't have it in the folder.
6 foot.
well,
Okay.
yeah, well, there'll be a 7-foot maximum height.
How big will they be when they're planted?
I don't know that we specified that size yet, but I believe probably 4 to 5 feet. Or I mean, the pines are shown at,
The pines are shown as a
Shown at
6 foot
6.
minimum height.
yeah.
Correct, there is no minimum height for the plant schedule, or for the arbor lighting.
Yeah, it's just, 6 foot height minimum. Arborvitae's. And then over here, this is they'll maintain them to a 7 foot height. Okay, we
Mr.
can't.
Chairman, Mr. Smith did note that he did record the site plan review approval decision with the town clerk on December 23rd.
Okay. All right, so we just need to get a copy of that. We don't have one to put our hands on right now. The copy of the decision, it's right now in your 21-day waiting period, I believe.
Okay.
And then once it comes back from that, that's usually typically when we sign off on it. But if the stipulation wasn't in there, would you be okay with adding the stipulation that you'll maintain the plantings as part of the installation, not only installing them, but installing them and maintaining them? I believe that terminology's in there, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, if it's not in there, we could modify the landscaping plan to,
Or it sounds like just if it's in the condition.
Yeah, we could just add it to the conditions if it's not in there.
yeah, that'd be fine. I think
All
that's
right.
what was discussed at the prior
Yeah.
meeting anyway.
Okay. All right. So I think once the appeal period's done, the town clerk will notify us, and then we'll get the appeal back, and then we can sign it off, and you'll be all set.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Comments from the planning board. Anybody else have any comments?
Yeah, I had a comment, or actually a question. I think back in October, there was supposed to be a walk through this district. Did any of the board members get a chance to hook up and make that rendezvous with CMRPC?
No.
There was something that happened. I can't remember what happened.
Yeah.
There was something that happened, and they said we'll have to postpone it to a later date. I can't remember what it was though.
That's right, it was, John.
Was it a project or?
They were supposed to come out and we were supposed to take a walk and just maybe basically get an eyeball for it, see how the plans were, where they would, how it would look, just to walk what the length of it.
Oh, the Village Center project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This to Chris.
But I thought we also possibly said it would be a better option if we went towards like Schofield Ave area.
I mean, we can
I mean, this is
pick whatever
30 years
whatever
down the
section we want.
Right.
We can pick whatever section we want. I mean, it's not,
I just, it's hard for me to fathom doing it on 197. Just that it's a main road. It's
Yeah.
so busy, you know.
There's only so much you can really affect change in that type of corridor. But, I mean, you can pick certain sub-areas.
I think there's a small area there we could do
Right.
it, definitely, but I don't think the full section of, like in the map, I don't think that would be,
yeah, so it's
You know,
a long
feasible.
stretch to try to make
It's
it
just,
to make
you know,
it
it's just
downtown out of.
a long area.
Yeah,
I think with like the new proposed possibility of the fire station there after the Dairy Brother property now, trying to grab that. You know, that area from Marty's, maybe up a little bit up towards the hill and then down towards the parking shop, maybe, you know. This area is just, I don't know, I just can't see it. It's just so busy. Main Street, well, West Main Street, whatever you want to call it, but it's just our main throughway.
And the design speed is really not going to slow down traffic for village-type
So
activities.
that's the whole thing I'm trying to get to is
Right, and pedestrian activities, too.
pedestrian activity. I
Right.
mean, I live across the street. Me just trying to cross here is, you know, I'm
Right.
counting my blessings.
Right.
So,
Well, maybe when the ice melts and there's a 40-degree day,
Yeah.
I can take a walk with you guys.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. One thing I just wanted to bring up, we still need to get together with the Board of Selectmen. So their next meeting is the 25th of January. So I'd like to see if anybody, actually like to invite everybody here to come to the Board of Selectmen meeting. Chris, if you could put a posting up with the town clerk, letting them know that the planning board will meet that night with the Board of Selectmen to discuss the town planner's job and what they would like to see for the future. One of the things that I know that they've mentioned was they were looking for someone that could also do economic development. So they're like a town planner / economic developer or economic development person.
What night is that?
It's a Monday night,
Is that coming up? What date is that, though?
the 25th.
25th, so that's January 25th.
Yeah.
And what time?
They usually meet around 6:30.
6:30. Is it a regular Board of Selectmen meeting?
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask that we get put on the agenda at some point so we can talk to them about it. The other thing I did too was I went online and I pulled up some jobs that are currently available in Massachusetts, recent ones. Town planner for the town of Weston. It was posted on January 6th. Also on January 6th, town planner, town of Southborough. Southborough's smaller than Dudley in both population and size, land area, I should say, and I believe Weston is bigger. But they were both advertising for town planner positions, both with pretty similar salary ranges, both looking for 5 to 7 years experience with a minimum of a bachelor's degree and preferable a master's degree in planning. And it seems like the job salaries were between $65,000 and $85,000 a year. Also for an economic development specialist, which is being advertised for the town of Groton, Connecticut. That was posted on January 6th. They're looking for someone with a minimum of a bachelor's degree, master's degree preferred, 4 years experience or 2 years experience, and other related experiences. And they're in the $65,000 to $76,000 range for that position. So based on what we had previously budgeted for a town planner, it looks like we're going to have a much higher salary line item if we want a full-time planner / economic development person. So I just want to let the Board of Selectmen know what they're looking at. So, and the other thing that I was talking about before, I would just like to bring up and discuss with them when we're there, is the possibility of maybe looking at getting someone that had some engineering background that we could have it as an engineer slash planner versus.
I think that's the better option, truthfully. I
mean-
think we'll save money down the road.
Yeah, I think we will ultimately. We'll save money. It may not be the first year, but ultimately we will save some money by not having to pay out for all these professional reviews. So you may not have the highest caliber of planning person, but they'll have to grow into the job, take some classes and learn on the, as they go. But I have no doubt that a competent civil or a professional engineer could handle that position if they wanted to. So, but that's something that we need to nail down. We're moving into the new year, so we have Chris's services. I believe we re-up for what, January and February?
Through about March 20th.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and I believe we have plenty of funding to cover us through the end of June. So it would be good to find somebody and hopefully get them in place before then. So, anybody else have anything? And I don't think we're going to get any comments from our audience. So the last thing on our agenda is to go into executive session.
Before you go into executive session.
Sure. Okay, we have our town council here.
When I came in, Mr. Ryan was giving his report, and I just want to let you know that I have had a chance to review the memo and the proposed zoning revisions that had been submitted by Eric Smith, and I find them to be in order, and also I think they do cover all of the sections of the bylaw that need to be addressed. I think one of the problems that we had at the town meeting last fall was the fact that the amendment that was being made did not also make appropriate amendments to the table of use provisions and some of the other sections. So this further review has allowed, I think, Eric to capture all the sections that are involved. So at this point, I would not recommend any changes to them. And as I'm sure you know, the way this would move forward from this point is the planning board would refer it to the Board of Selectmen under 48, Section 5. The Board of Selectmen refers it back to the planning board for public hearing.
Yeah.
And then once you've had your public hearing, you can then prepare your report and recommendations for this for town meeting.
Yep.
And the only other thing that I know we have several of the zoning provisions that are going to be amended. I might just want to check with the town moderator in advance about whether or not these should all be within one article or whether they should be separate articles, because they do require a 2/3 vote. And if for some reason there was not that I anticipated, but in the event there was a question regarding one of the sections, we would probably want to be able to make sure that the others can be voted independently of that. So I could check with him, but we have plenty of time to prepare for the format,
Yep.
of whether it's one article or several articles.
Okay. All right. Thank you, town council. All right. So then we will need to go to go into executive session. We'll need a roll call vote. So under Mass General Law, Chapter 39, Section 23B, Number 9, for the purposes of discussing pending litigation for which an open meeting may have a detrimental impact on the town's position. Roll call vote. Guy Horn, aye.
Thomas Holt, aye.
Marcia Wagner, aye.
Sean Guerin, aye.
Okay, and also going to mention that we are going to adjourn from our executive session. We will not come back into open session to adjourn. We'll adjourn from the executive session. And our next meeting, our next regularly scheduled planning board meeting will be on January 27th, 2016. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I might just want, the last time I was here on the agenda, but if your minutes can reflect, there has been a change in the statute for the open meeting law. It's now, the specific reference would be Chapter 30A, capital A, Section 21A3. Basically the same language, but in a different section of the statute.
Could you repeat that, please?
Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah.
Repeat it. Chapter 30, capital A, section 21, A parens, 3 parens.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Counselor.